Design, and I'm here at the SECO booth with Gianfranco Comune. He's a sales engineer with the company. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Doing pretty well. We were just having a pretty interesting conversation that we thought we'd carry on to you guys about the maker community, maker boards, and how it seems that industry tried to start supporting them and then maybe went halfway and are now kind of at a crossroads. What are your thoughts on that, and where do you think industry may have gone wrong with the maker community?
Well, as we were talking about before, I think the biggest problem when industry tries to go into the maker movement is that they consider the hardware the core of the maker movement. Hardware has in reality become a commodity. There's so many boards out there that range from $5 to $150 that really it means nothing.
Right.
The value added of an industrial partner going into the maker movement is essentially two. One is reinforcing and investing in the community. The community is the most important part because the hardware per se means nothing if I do not know how to use it. If I can't get information, if I can't get the documentation, it really means nothing. The second most important thing is having a software or an IDE or an operating system that is, one, easily learnable, so something that I can pick up quickly, or that is already out there and has its community, for example Linux, where I can just go in, use it, and I have another community to work with along with the board community or the hardware community. So giving them the option of learning it quickly, getting information quickly, asking questions and getting answers, I think is where the value add is for a company, which industrial partners didn't understand because they're like, oh, we make a board, we throw it out there, people will buy it.
So, you know, before SECO got involved in the maker movement, Maker Pro, Pro Maker, as you were talking about before, just makers in general, you were an industrial board manufacturer. So, you know, how have you split your company to be successful with both markets? I mean, what's your strategy there? Because most of these vendors are really trying to convert makers into professional engineers, and that is maybe not what they actually are.
Exactly. Well, as you said, we only started the UDO movement in 2013, but we've been doing embedded since 1979.
Right.
So for a company that has 30 plus years experience of embedded, going into a maker field on its own, but like anything you would do, if you ever were to transition from a field of specialization into a new one, you would get consultants. You would get people that understand that field. We were lucky enough that our president was friends with a professor from the University of Siena in Tuscany, who was running an interaction design lab, and their specific needs were what prompted the whole UDO board and the whole UDO community, and they are a part of the UDO company, of the UDO family. So their expertise in interaction design, their expertise in communications, their expertise in knowing what universities, because it was born initially as a university board and then it expanded to makers, their knowledge of what non-engineers need is, I think, what really helped. So this company, which is ID Lab, along with SECO, when they united, they had the design, the manufacturing, the embedded experience, along with the interaction design and the communications and the non-technical knowledge to fuse the two together and make it work. And I think that's really the strength of SECO, is being able to encompass this whole world of knowledge, which is not only hardware, not only software, but it's literally communications. I think that's the strongest point.
And it's also a realization on your part that maybe makers are makers, and that's what they are, and professional embedded industrial engineers are professional embedded industrial engineers, and there may be some crossover, but you can't turn an apple into an orange or an orange into an apple.
Not overnight,
right?
But you can. So the whole reason we came up with our third line of products, so between UDO and SECO, we created a third line, which is the industrial maker board. Because you can convert an apple into an orange, you just have to give them first the initial tools to learn, and then the tools to transition into industry and embedded. So what we did was, because we didn't want to keep the two separate, we didn't want that's its own thing, this is its own thing, they go on their own life, but at a certain point they had to meet up because that's where the world's going. Makers are revolutionizing the industry. A lot of projects from now to the next 20 years, a lot of industrial products that are going to come out have started in someone's garage or in an incubator somewhere in the Midwest. So the thing is, we know this. We know that makers, maybe only 1 out of 100, but that 1 out of 100 will create a product that sells 1 million products in a year, right? So because we know this and we realize it, maybe ahead of everyone else, we are working with makers to make them become engineers. You know, we want them to become engineers because that's where the innovation is going to come from. It's not going to be top down anymore. It's going to be both ways. Both ways. You know, it's going to go from the garage to the industry. It's going to come from engineers who want to do their own thing aside from what they're doing with the company.
Okay. Well, cool. That was Gianfranco Comune here at a SECO booth at NXP's FTF this year. I'm Brandon Lewis for Embedded Computing Design. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.